Welcome back to Wittenberg Academy's Greek 1 course. We're in Gleason's Greek Primer, and we are ready for Lesson 4. More with the Omicron declension, this time neuter nouns. Our paradigm here is doron. The endings are on, u, o, on, a, on, ois, a. So the only difference between a neuter of the Omicron declension and a masculine of the Omicron declension is in the nominative and the accusative. Nominative singular is doron instead of a word like logos, the ending is os. For the neuter, the ending is on. Piece of cake. In the neuter plural nominative, the ending is a, and the accusative ending is also a. That's because in the neuter, in the nominative and the accusative, they're always the same form. Always the same form. So your neuter endings are on, u, o, on, a, on, ois, a. And don't forget, dative singular has that iota subscript. And then look at the neuter definite articles there with tan, kalan, hamation, the beautiful cloak. You see the neuter articles are ta, tu, to, ta, ta, ton, tois, ta. So you need to learn those. The masculine articles were ha, tu, to, tan, hoi, ton, tois, tas. But here the endings are ta, tu, to, ta, toi, ta, ton, tois, ta. I confused myself there. Very good. So you can compare those, write these out. I'd write them out again with both the whole word, doron, and the ending, on, u, o, on, a, on, ois, a. And I'd write out the forms of the definite article, ta, tu, to, ta, ta, ton, tois, ta. All right, in pedion and doron, as in all other neuter words, the nominative, accusative, and vocative, and we're not bothering with the vocative, are alike. And you can see why we're not bothering with the vocative. It is so often the same as the nominative. And in the plural, they end in a. That's also obviously true for Latin. This book is great because you kind of get free Latin as well. Decline also chorion, place, and hieron, temple. That's good practice. Write those out. You need to make your flashcard and get some practice writing and saying them again, doing it over and over and over again until it comes out your ears. The accent of nouns. We covered that last time. The accent of noun is persistent, wants to stay where it is, the nominative singular. If the last syllable goes long, it changes to an acute on the second last syllable. And if it has that accent on the last syllable, it gets the inside out manner of accent. We're also not going to worry about section 69. That's just another way of telling you what I already told you. Section 70 on page 24, more vocabulary. Doron is gift. Hieron is a temple. Notice the rough breathing mark. Hamation, again note the rough breathing mark as a cloak or garment. Pedion is a plane. Teknon is a child. Chorion is a place or a spot. Kakos is bad or cowardly. That's an adjective. When you write down these words on your vocabulary card, doron, you know for the ending that's neuter. You might go ahead and put, on your card ta doron, so that you can remember the definite article, and so that you can help remember that it is neuter. That's a good habit to get into. Ta doron, ta hieron, ta hamation, ta pedion, ta teknon, ta chorion. Kakan, means bad or cowardly. That's an accusative. So when you get this in a vocabulary list, it gives you both endings. And soon we'll learn feminine endings as well. Heurisco Heurisco, and it has a future in heureso. Heureso. Heurisco, heureso. I find, I discover. Gar is a conjunction. It's post-positive. Means it comes after the first word in a clause. Means for. So like, for he has already eaten. You might have gar there in Greek. N is a preposition. It takes the dative. So N will be followed by a noun in the dative. X means from or out of, and that takes the genitive. It will be followed by nouns in the genitive. So on your vocabulary card, you write X, and then on the back, you make sure you write, it means from or out of with the genitive. And N on the front of your card, on the back, make sure it says in with the dative. And notice that X has a separate form for when it comes before consonants, and it's ek. Here are translations. We'll do these in the same tape today. Again, learn your vocabulary, learn the new forms for this chapter, then come back, try your translations, restart the tape at this point to get them corrected. Hieran kalan ein into pedio. First thing you do, find the verb, ein. Parse it. Well, it's just one we've just learned as a vocabulary word. It means was. Anything in the nominative to go with it? Yes. Hieran kalan. Hieran kalan. That's neuter, nominative, singular. It's the same ending as a masculine noun's accusative singular. But you know that hieran is neuter. So notice you have to learn the gender of something when you first learn it, or you won't be able to translate it, because you won't know, in this case, if it is nominative or accusative. So, a beautiful temple was in to pedio, in the plain. To pedio is in the dative simply because it follows n. Sentence 2. Uk axusi de ta tekna eistan hieran. Uk axusi de ta tekna eistan hieran. Where's the verb? Axusi. Parse it. What tense is it? Future tense. Indicative active. What person? Third person, plural. They will drive. What will they drive? Something in the accusative. Ta tekna. Ta tekna. Or is ta tekna accusative? Because ta tekna is both nominative in form and accusative, because neuters have the same form in nominative and accusative. So if ta tekna is nominative, it's the children will not drive into the temple. But if it's accusative, it's then ta tekna is the direct object. They will not drive the children into the temple. Sentence 3. Ek tu koriu foigusin hoi hippoi. Ek tu koriu foigusin hoi hippoi. What's the verb? Foigusin. What tense is it? Present. Indicative active. Third person plural. O, ace, a, amen, eta, usin. They flee. Who flees? Anything in the nominative. Hoi hippoi, the horses. That's nominative. That's your subject. The horses flee. Ek tu kario. Out of this place. Out of the place. From this spot. 4. Hoida tu dulu hui oi echusi kaka himatia. Hoida tu dulu huioi echusi kaka himatia. Verb echusi. Present tense. Third person plural. They have. Anything in the nominative to go with it? Yes. Hoi huioi. The sons. The sons have. Anything in the accusative to be an object? Yes. Kaka himatia. The sons have bad garments. What kind of sons are they? Tu dulu. The sons of the slaves have bad garments. To dulu is genitive, you translate it with of. The sons of the slave have bad garments. And that de just means but the sons of the slaves have bad garments. Sentence 5. Pimsegar dora to agatho anthropo. Pempegar dora to agatho anthropo. Need a verb? Pimse. Pimse. Future tense, third person singular. How do you know it's future? You know that the verb is pempo, and you know it's had a sigma added to the stem. Pimse. He, she, or it will send. Anything in the nominative? No. Dora could be nominative plural, right? But the verb is singular. So it's not looking for a nominative plural. So dora is not nominative, it's accusative. For, gar means for he will send gifts, to agatho anthropo. It's dative. Dative means the indirect object. He will send gifts to the good man. 6. Kain to patamo hoiriskusi lithus. Kai into patamo hoiriskusi lithus. Need a verb. Where is it? Hoiriskusi. Third person plural, present, indicative active. They find. Anything in the nominative to go with it? Nope. Anything in the accusative to be an object, the direct object? Yes. Lithus. They find stones. Kai into patamo, and in the river they find stones. In sentence 7, just a list of verbs to practice on. Parsing, menata, leipsusi, keluomen, harpaso, bales. Menata, present indicative active, second person plural, they remain. Leipsusi, future indicative active, third person plural, they will send. Keluomen, present, first person plural, we command. Harpaso, future, indicative active, first person singular. You know that the dictionary form, the vocabulary form, is harpazo with a zeta. The sigma replaces the zeta in the future. I shall grasp or seize. And bales, second person singular, present indicative active, you throw. All right, that's it for basically lessons 3 and 4, really one topic. Second declension nouns, both masculine and neuter forms. Lots of vocabulary, a couple paradigms to learn. That's the important thing. If you are just struggling, pulling out your hair with these translations, do not freak out. You are okay. You will do fine on the test as long as you know your forms and know your vocabulary. So make sure you know your vocabulary inside and out. Make sure you know your forms inside and out, and you will be fine on the quiz for this week.